Hello and welcome to the African Stand. After the country of Niger shut down its airspace, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mali also followed suit. Algeria in particular has made it very clear to France that it cannot allow the French to use its airspace to attack its fellow African country. This is very interesting as it echoes a trending sentiment across the African continent towards its European colonizers. Africa is tired of these foreign countries exploiting the mother continent and then using its various airspace to launch attacks on its soils and citizens. Algeria, without mincing words, issued a stern warning to France: do not engage. To further understand Africa's grievances against the French, let us watch the following video.
Let's give us one other thing that France did between 1958 and 1961 in the name of giving us our independence as African countries. France forced the Francophone, and I hate that terminology. There is no such thing as Francophone, Anglophone. They made it up. But for the purposes of communication, I will use that. 14 of those countries, they said, in order for you to get your independence from us, you must sign this document. You thought they could have found a better name for the document. The document was called the Pact for the Continuation. I repeat, the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. We are talking about giving you independence, but sign this pact for the continuation of colonization in a different format. And I'm going to highlight some of those issues that they said you must agree to if you are going to be independent. Hello. Maybe we need to redefine the meaning of independence for the French. First, France said, you see, you monkeys, you don't know how to manage your money. We're going to demand that you deposit 85% of your bank reserves with the French Minister of Finance. Under the French Central Bank, under the control of the French Minister of Finance. France is then going to take your 85% bank deposits from each and every one of you. Deposit those funds in the French stock market under the French name. And you may or may not know the returns. Today, as we speak, the latest figures are saying for every 14 billion that France invests in the stock market from Africa, they are realizing upwards of 300 billion in return. Every year, year in, year out, because of these deposits from the African countries, France is taking out of Africa over $500 billion. Now figure it out. For every 14 billion, the returns on the investment are over 300 billion, and they are taking over 500 billion. So in actuality, France is taking out of Africa trillions of dollars year in and year out from us poor people, Africans. Back to the pact. So should you want to access some of your money that you have deposited with France, you have to submit your country's financial returns. And if approved, you get to get it as a loan. You can only access up to 20% of your money year in, year out as a loan at commercial interest rates. Your own money. As if that was not enough. They said all your minerals discovered, yet to be discovered, all your oil discovered, yet to be discovered. France and French companies have the first right of refusal. If there's anything left over that the French companies do not want, your people might have. To this day. They said you will only use a currency that we created for you because you're special Africans. We call it the CFA. There was the Central African CFA and the Western African CFA, same animal. And that France is the only one that can print it for you. 1958. Fast forward. They're still printing it for us. And if you start misbehaving, they just stop printing your money. And your country's in trouble. They also said your language of instruction shall be French, whether you like it or not. That France will have military presence in your country, that your military can only be trained by France, that you can only buy military equipment from France, that you cannot have any military alliance with your neighbor, and that in the event of war, your allegiance is only to France. And furthermore, because they have military presence in your country, they can invade you without notice should they feel that the interests of France in your country are being violated.
Teach, sister, teach. Speak on, sister.
Fast forward, 2019, nothing has changed.
That, in a nutshell, has been the relationship between France and former African colonies. Well done to Mali, Burkina, and Algeria for their swift leap to action in shutting the French out of their airspace in order to protect Niger. This echoes the sort of unity that is needed in the continent in order to propel it forward. A great country like Zimbabwe has been under strenuous sanctions from the colonizers. The people of Zimbabwe have suffered greatly as a result. Some of them know nothing about what brought about these crippling sanctions. As Africans, we need to change our thought process. We can no longer allow these imposters to come into our continent to loot our resources, and then turn around and put sanctions on our sister countries. These colonizers have upended our very way of life. They've destroyed our foods, our culture, our environment. They have destroyed everything we held dear in exchange for their very perverted way of life. It is high time Africa stands up and says enough is enough. That hour has arrived. Africa must unite to claim its rightful place in the world as the most blessed continent, the richest of them all. Nigeria and ECOWAS must not attack Niger. Instead, we must help defend it from the colonizers. If Nigeria is serious about being the giant of the continent, and it should be, this moment with Niger should be its defining moment. The colonizers and their borders must be ushered away so that free trade can thrive amongst us Africans. The Europeans band together to solve European problems, and now it's time for Africa to solve Africa's problems. The natural resources in our lands are ours, and we will sell them as finished products at the price we are comfortable with. That concludes this video. Please like and subscribe to help us grow the channel and bring you more exciting news from the continent. Thank you and remain blessed. One Africa.